Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandat Pranam to everyone. Thank you for joining the English Bhagavad-gītā session today. Today we will be discussing about 3 slokas from Bhagavad-gītā chapter 6. So chapter 6 is 15th sloka, 15, 16, 17. We will discuss 3 slokas. So the first 15th sloka. Yunjanevam sada atmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati. Thus practicing constant control of the body, mind and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God or the abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence. 17th sloka. Sixteenth sloka, sorry. Nati ashnastu yogisti nachaikantam anashnatah nachati swapnasilasya jagrato naivacharjana. There is no possibility of once becoming of yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. 17th sloka. Yuktahara viharasya yuktachetasya karmasu yuktasvapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Okay, Hare Krishna. So just to go for a small recap, what did we learn in the previous slokas? Was in the previous 4 slokas we have seen what all yogis are doing to start practicing Ashtanga yoga, right? They have to go to a sacred place and it should be secluded, and they have to put a deer skin, a soft cloth, kusha grass. It should they shouldn't sit like too high or too low, and focus on one point, right? So in 13th and 14th slokas, it was said, what is that one point to be concentrated on is Nashigrasam, Nashikagram, right? That is the tip of the nose. And what do they have to do? Sit on the asana with a straight line, right? And what do they have to do after that? They have to keep the mind unagitated. And whom should we meditate on? On the Supreme Lord, right? So what else to do, and what will they attain? That we will be discussing in these 3 slokas. So thus practicing constant control of the body, mind and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God by cessation of material existence. So Srila Prabhupada is saying what it will do by doing all these things is enable the cessation of material existence. That means we are trying to stay away from the materialistic enjoyment. That is the main what they are trying to do using this Ashtanga yoga, right? Yunjan means practicing. What are all we are practicing? Whatever it was said in the from 11th to 14th slokas. So how we have to practice? Sadatmanam, evam sadatmanam. Yunjan evam sadatmanam means sada, practice constantly. On who? Atmanam. By how? By in 3 levels. What are those 3 levels? Bodily, mind and soul. On these 3 levels we have to concentrate on the Atmanam. Niyate manasaha means controlling his mind, right? We are trying to control the mind. And what is the result? Attains the supreme abode by cessation of the material existence. So when we do all these things properly, we will attain the Lord. That's what is said in this shloka. Okay. So in this material world also we see people want to do yoga, right? They want to 2 things. One is for the body. They want to keep their body fit, etc., right? In the same way, steady. And some are doing the yoga for what? For to keep their mind steady, right? That is the next level. Okay. So some weird people, they say, oh, well, with this yoga we'll go into void. But here Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying there is no void. Okay. It is all There is no void. Okay, that's very important. Now here, the Lord is telling Krishna, what is he saying? Natat bhashat in 15.6. Natat bhashate suryo na shanko na pavakaha yat gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So in this abode, the Lord is Srila Prabhupada is discussing. He is telling, oh, how is the abode? So that this abode does not have, like we have like sun, moon, electricity, etc. Right? So in that abode of the Lord, there is no sun, there is no moon, and there is no electricity. Right? Um, so Srila Prabhupada is saying, once we remove all our attachments to this material world, right, then we will be, and it is also said, yes, at the time of death, if we think about the Lord, then we can go back to Godhead. And in that place, so how is it? And also it is said, oh, once it says, right, Taddhama Paramamama, means once we go there, we will never return to this material world again, right? This should be our goal, right? The Lord is telling about the how that abode is, right? There is no sun, the moon, nothing is there. Everything is self-illuminated. Okay. So next is in all the planets in the spiritual kingdom are self-illuminated, right? So that's how they are. But Ashtanga Yoga, oh, what are they doing here? But so if we see going to a secluded place, right? Sacred place, sitting, taking kushagrass in the jungle, right? It's not easy, right? So Ashtanga Yoga is very hard to do. But when we do bhakti, right, pure devotion service of the Lord, that is all. Here also the goal is bhakti only, right? Here also it is to go back to Godhead, right? And it is very natural, right? It's not too hard bhakti, right? Going to the jungle and doing Ashtanga Yoga is very hard, but doing bhakti, at least we can try. Lot of people, they have to work, right? So if they go to jungle, how will they live their lives? So that's why doing bhakti, and while doing bhakti, they can do their day-to-day activities, and still they can become eligible to go back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that. So that's why he is saying doing bhakti is better than doing Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. Next, no one can reach the spiritual sky or enter into the Lord's abode, Goloka Vrindavan, without proper understanding of Krishna and his plenary expansion, Vishnu. So it is said, right? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mabeti so Arjuna. So we have to understand the Lord's activities and his leelas, right? Janma, his how he was born and his activities. Then only proper understanding of that, then only we will be eligible to go back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that. Why? It's generally, right? Let us think of in a general aspect. Krishna killed Putana by sucking the poison and also sucking the life air out of her. That is natural to him. Can we do that naturally? No, it is not possible for us, right? In the same way, Trinavarta Trinavarta took Krishna when he to the sky, right? Very nearer to the sky. At that time, he was very light, but when he reached the higher point, he became very heavy, and Trinavarta couldn't hold him. And what happened? He fell down, right? So can we do that? Can we be light at one point and go to some other place and become heavy? Is that possible? No. So naturally, for Krishna, all these things can happen. Krishna can do. His capacity is he can do, but we cannot do. So that's why that we have to understand, oh, Krishna, we cannot compete with the Lord, right? We also have come here by envy, right? So if we can understand in our heart, oh, we cannot compete with the Lord, and if we can create love towards the Lord, instead of if we can replace love, if we replace envy with love, then we can become eligible to go back to Godhead. So how we can understand? By reading this Janma and Leela of the Lord, right? The Lord can do everything naturally, right? He can lift the Govardhan hill, he can kill Kaliya, he can do the Damodar Leela, so many things he can do, right? But can we do all those things? No. So that means we are accepting defeat, right? Surrender. He is telling, surrender unto me. I'll remove all your reactions, bad reactions, and you can come back to Godhead. So surrender means nothing but saying, oh my dear Lord, I don't want to compete with you. I don't want to enjoy away from you, right? So I want to enjoy by serving you, not by enjoying in this material world. That is what it is, okay? So and when we do this bhakti nicely, we will become eligible to come back to Godhead. Now, the Ashtanga yogis, what do? They aspire to be mystic. They want to have mystic powers to impress people, right? Like, for example, flying in the air, walking on the water. They want to do all these things, right? But what to impress people? But what is the use? There is no use, right? Yoga should get us out of this material world, not for jugglery feats. Okay, Srila Prabhupada is saying that, right? So but the problem with these Ashtanga yogis is they are always agitated within. They want more. They have achieved something. Oh, I want this more. I want this. I want that, like that. But Krishna Bhakta, what does he do? He does nishkama karma, right? No material desires, just attain the supreme. That's it. And therefore he is Shanta, right? In the 16th sloka, okay, there is no possibility of one becoming a yogi. Oh, Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So, so regulation of diet and sleep is recommended here for the yogis and for us also. Okay. So how much people is, oh, how much to eat? So how much means to keep the body and the soul together. That means to be healthy. That's it. Not too much, not too less. To keep the body active. That's it. Okay. So and here Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying, what is the need for men to eat animals? There is no need, because ample supply of grains and vegetables, fruit and milk are given. So you can use that, right? So what is the use of eating meat? So that Srila Prabhupada is saying here. And such simple food stuff is considered to be in mode of goodness, according to Bhagavad-gītā. Animal food is for those in the mode of ignorance. So the Lord is saying clearly, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami priyatatmanaha, right? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. If you give me with love, I will accept it. When I accept, you also eat. Then there will be no sinful reaction for us. So people say, I'm eating meat because it has vitamins, it has proteins, etc., etc. Yes, but there is no fiber in it, right? And for the body, fiber is very important. Now, and the other thing here, one Prabhu was saying, I was listening to his class, he was saying, the first vitamin that we will get by eating meat is sin, right? The first vitamin, yes, he may be getting other vitamins, but the first vitamin will be sin. So that's why important to understand to have a holistic life. It is very important. Okay. Next, therefore, those who indulge in animal food, drinking, smoking, and eating food which is not offered to Krishna will suffer sinful reactions because of eating only polluted things, right? And what will happen to these people who are eating non-veg? They have disturbed consciousness, okay, and they deteriorated. Their consciousness is deteriorating. They behave like animals. Their tolerance level decreases. You do something against them, they will fight. They want to fight, right? So that's why meat eating is not good, okay? And it will create an obstacle to spirituality. Can't progress in bhakti if we eat those food that is not in mode of goodness, okay? Next, it is best that one eat only remnants of food stuff offered to Krishna, and a person in Krishna consciousness does not eat anything which is not offered to the Lord. See, so Srila Prabhupada is saying we should every time we should offer. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. All our gurus says, offer it to the Lord and you can have it, right? And if we do it with love, it's like a practice for us. When we are in love with the Lord in this lifetime, at the end of the death also we will have love towards the Lord. Then we will remember the Lord, right? Whoever we are in love with, we will remember that person, right? In the same way, when we practice it nicely in this lifetime, we can definitely have love towards the Lord, and we can remember the Lord. And when if we remember the Lord, we will go back to God definitely. So now it is said, oh, how much to eat? So it is said that half of the stomach should be filled with prasadam, 1/4 with water, 1/4 with air. So that's how we have to eat. Okay. Next, the other thing is performing Ekadashi, right? 1 in 15 days or twice in a month, we have Ekadashi. So what will happen? it will have, what will happen is it will detox the body. Okay, all, it will remove all the toxins in our body. And upavasa means stay nearer to the Lord. Okay, so what will happen because of this? We will get spiritual benefit. One who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than required. One should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by the mode of ignorance. A person in mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. So, okay, here it is said that we have to sleep, but medically, if we need more than 6 hours, it's okay. But generally speaking, 6 hours is good enough. Now the question comes, oh, why are we not able to, like for few people, they are not able to get up after 6 hours because of the screen time. Because what happens is, before going to bed, they want to watch something on the phone. But what happens actually is, it decreases. There is some hormones that are secreted, but for the sleep. But when we use the screen time and all before sleeping, what will happen is that melatonin or some other hormones that, so that's why people sleep late. And because of that, what will happen? We are waking up early, late. So that's why that is a cycle. Okay, so that's why how to break the cycle? Don't have screen time. 1 hour before going to bed, don't have screen time. Also, if we can sleep, eat early, right? There should be a gap of minimum 2 to 3 hours before we go to bed to eat, right? So 2 hours before going to bed, we shouldn't eat anything, right? And decrease the screen time. Then definitely 6 hours will be good enough. Okay. And as for I have also seen it, if we wake up at like around 4 o'clock or something nicely, if we can chant nicely, because the moment sun rises, our mind gets agitated, right? So the best thing is 4 to 6 o'clock, best chanting. Okay, anything after that, uh, somebody will call us, somebody will ring the bell, so much of disturbance. But at that time, nobody will call us, right? So it's like that. So the best thing is doing our japa and getting up doing our japa in the Brahma Mukta. That's the best. Now, in the 17th sloka, he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system, mitigating the material pains. See, so bhakti. So here we are talking, the Lord is talking about bhakti, bhakta, and also Ashtanga Yoga, the do's and don'ts we have seen. Now he is telling us even more, little more information. So what is that? Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. See, so too much eating, too much sleeping, defending, and extravagance. See, extravagance. Anything in limit is no problem, but extravagance is not good. Regulated. So it should be regulated. No regulation means no difference between humans and animals. They don't have any regulation, right? They will do whatever they think the right at that moment of time. If we do the same thing, there is no difference between humans and us. Okay. So here in 9.26, we have seen Patram Pushpam, right? So Srila Prabhupada is also saying we should regulate with vegetables, flowers, fruits, grains, milk, etc. So in this way, a person in Krishna consciousness becomes automatically trained not to accept food not meant for human consumption or not in the category of goodness. So it is said in Bhagavad-gītā, when we are in mode of goodness, only then we can understand understand and implement the instructions of what is written in Bhagavad-gītā. Anyone who is in mode of passion or mode of ignorance, they may study Bhagavad-gītā any number of times, they may underline, they may put star mark, but they cannot implement it in their lives because the mind is very agitated for them. They cannot do austerities, right? So that's why at least we should come to mode of goodness. That is very important. And also the brain tissues, right? The brain tissues become very nourished and for the spiritualists, right? So that's why they get sukruti also, right? And they become spiritual. That's why it is said that spiritualists are very sharp. Why? Because when they do all these things, when they implement all these good habits, their the brain tissues become very good. And A person in Krishna consciousness always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, any unnecessary time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. So they count every minute. Oh, what am I doing? What did I do? What mistakes I have done today, so that I will not repeat again, like that. Okay. So every moment is precious for a devotee. Yeah, right. One moment gone is one moment gone in this human form, because very rare. This human form is very rare. So once lost is lost, right? One lost moment is lost. So here they are giving a small example of Srila Rupa Goswami. What is this doing? Who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day, sometimes not even that, if he hasn't engaged in the service of the Lord. Okay. So every time he was in the service of the Lord. And Haridas Thakura, okay, would not even accept prasadam, nor even sleep for a moment without finishing his daily routine of chanting. How much? 300,000 names. That means 192 rounds. They would complete 192 rounds. He would complete 192 rounds and have prasadam or water. That's it. So that's how determined they were. So anything, the Krishna conscious devotee, what does he do? He doesn't do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest, and that's why he's regulated, and he's untainted by sense gratification. Why? Because they're determined. So that's why determination is very important over here. Okay. Since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness, and because he's regulated in all his work, speech, sleep, wakefulness, and all other bodily activities, there is no material misery for him. So any small thing, small issues come up for a devotee. What do they think? Oh, I'm burning my karma, bad karma. I'm burning. Yes, I might have done something wrong. Krishna is burning my reaction, all those sinful reactions, so that we can get ready to go back to Godhead, right? So that's why we should think like that. Okay. And no, and we shouldn't use this rare human body for sense gratification, material leisure, etc., etc. So focus on other work quickly and later. See, like we all do our work, right? But Krishna conscious person, what does he do is he does all his works very quickly, and then again, they utilize the time to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna book, any other book that they haven't read. So it will be helpful for them to attain Krishna. So these are the things. In the later chapters, later text slokas also, it is a continuation. What else a bhakta should do? So thank you, dear devotees. Any questions or comments we will take? Otherwise, we can end the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
This is not to, contradict what has been said by you, but in the Kshatriya